Hello and welcome to this bonus presentation for Winter 20 Release Readiness Live. I'm Elna Miller and I'm here with the Salesforce Quip team who are ready to share the latest new features and enhancements. We may be making some forward-looking statements, so just as a reminder, please make sure you make any purchasing decisions based on currently available functionality. So with that, why don't we just go ahead and do a quick round of intros and then we'll get started.
All right, hi everyone, I'm Sophia Westwood. I'm the PM lead for our group integrating Quip into Salesforce Lightning platform. So in the spirit of the startup innovative mindset that brought us into Salesforce a few years ago, we've decided to bring in not just a product perspective to this, but also a design and engineering perspective. So I'll hand it off to Ashlyn and Jesse.
I'm Ashlyn Ayu. I'm a product designer on Quip, and I've been primarily helping them with integrating Quip into Salesforce. It's been super fun working with the team. I've been overall at Salesforce for 3 years now.
I'm Jesse Ditson. I work on the Salesforce integration team. I'm a tech lead there, and I mostly have been super excited because I transitioned recently from our sort of front end, our kind of like user-facing stuff to the more Salesforce deeper integrations, and it's been really fun playing with the Salesforce data and kind of imagining what can be possible there.
All right, so let's get into it. We're going to start by talking about our high-level vision for Quip for Salesforce, some of what we've launched in the past and how it all leads into what we're launching now, then move into a demo to really highlight each of the things that we're proud of.
Cool, so let's jump in. One of my favorite parts about Quip is that it really breaks the mold on what CRM can be by supercharging your documents, your spreadsheets, your slides all back into Salesforce. And because we're building on the Lightning platform, we're able to tackle a wide range of features to boost productivity across multiple clouds. And you might be wondering, well, how do we decide what we're going to build if we're trying to tackle all of these use cases at Salesforce? And what we have done is really narrowed it down to these themes here, and these really guide our mission to drive unstructured data back into Salesforce. And we have found that by focusing on these areas, we can not only create a modern collaboration space for our end users, but we also can provide immediate value for organizations across all industries. So you'll see how these themes are peppered throughout our roadmap. And so I'll jump into some of the stuff we've recently accomplished. So what we've done so far, we've unlocked powerful new use cases in Lightning by building a ton of actions in Process Builder and Flow. So this is editing documents and inserting sections, to adding documents to folders, adding and removing members. Pretty much anything you can dream of, we've created an action for, which is pretty awesome. And this really supercharges automation for your documents. We've also improved the document and live app templating within Salesforce. And these really create a reusable workspace that makes it easier for both Salesforce admins and users to collaborate around Salesforce data. And then, as always, we work really hard to improve the integration between Quip and Salesforce by streamlining authentication, making setup easier, and improving user access. Okay, and so in this upcoming release, we're bringing you deeper engagement, faster decision-making, and even more context around your Salesforce data. And some of the things you can expect that really excites me is enabling document and record linking right inside Quip. So rather than going to Salesforce and associating a document, you can do that right inside Quip. And by doing this, you can also start logging Salesforce activities straight from your document workspace, which is super exciting. And additionally, we've worked really hard on some great live apps, such as the List View Live app, thank you, Jesse, and the Einstein Analytics live app. So starting to bring in that smart data right into your documents. And with every release, our team really tries to focus on hitting major milestones with security and permissioning. So one of these items is offering Quip Shield and HIPAA compliance, which our customers have really been asking for, and I think the whole Quip team is really proud of the big work we've done there. So that's it for our vision.
Oh, I got to tell you, that record linking in Quip, that caught my eye. I really would love to use that as soon as possible. So when is this going live? Tell me.
So one thing that makes us unique as an acquired company is that we have a lot of launches that we do that are part of the Salesforce ecosystem and release cycle, but we also have the ability to launch within our own startup release process, which actually happens, believe it or not, every day, but not Fridays. So Jesse can talk more about what that's been like to work between those two products. But the short answer is that we're launching all these products together with the Salesforce release. It'll all go live around the same time.
So mid-October-ish, right?
Exactly.
Great. Now, you were mentioning the live deal feed. Can you talk a little bit more about how that works?
Yeah. So the idea with the live deal feed is that folks are closing deals, hopefully, a lot. But it's not always obvious to everybody in the company what deals are being closed and when they're being closed, and to congratulate, to drive excitement, to see if they're hitting their numbers. So the live deal feed is something that we've packaged up into an AppExchange package that you can actually install and start using immediately, where the whole company can see and get push notifications and see a document that has not just the progress that's being made towards that quarterly goal, but actually a notification via the chat feature in Quip that pops in every time a deal is closed. We actually use this internally. It was our most opened document internally at Quip, and as you can imagine at Quip, we use a lot of documents, so that's saying something. One of our BizOps members actually invented it, Marina came in, and the exciting thing about it is it really brings the Salesforce data right to what people are interested in that moment, where rather than being something where you have to refresh a report in Salesforce or work hard to try and get the same visibility into the structure that your sales leaders might have, everybody at your company can cheer on Adam when he closes a deal or cheer on Lenore when she hits her number. And it really brings the company together around that actionable collaborative spirit.
Interesting. You know, I'm a Quip user. I use Quip every day. In fact, I have a Quip doc right in front of me at this moment.
Wow.
And what I find that I do is I tend to separate my work in Quip from my work in Salesforce. And I'm guilty of not really understanding how to integrate. So could you talk about, like, what would be the best use case to just get started if you're one of those who does certain things in Quip and certain things in Salesforce? What's the first step in kind of bringing things together? And maybe use sales teams as an example, since we have a lot of folks out there who...
Absolutely. So that's a question we get a lot, and we've thought a lot about. And our goal here is that it doesn't feel like using two products. Like, we don't want people to think about, gosh, I need to get something done. Should I go into Quip or should I think about going to Salesforce? We want them to really feel like the same product. So some of the features that we've launched to get to that end state is you can actually embed Quip documents directly within Salesforce. So if you're looking at an account, something we're going to show you in a second, is you can actually see your account plan right there. So you're not thinking, do I need to look at the Salesforce details for this so I go into Salesforce, or do I need to collaborate on the account plan so I go into Quip? You just open up Salesforce, you open up Quip wherever you are, and you have that Salesforce data embedded in Quip, and you have Quip embedded directly in Salesforce.
Nice. Well, I'm looking forward to doing better at that, so thanks for making it easier for us.
Of course.
So what else you got?
Shall we do a demo?
Sure, let's do it.
All right, cool. So here we are inside of our beloved Salesforce instance. We have an account, Acme, and we have that account plan tab embedded directly into Salesforce Lightning. So here I can start live editing and telling people what I'm up to. I can say, I'll finish this by the end of the week so that my manager, my manager's manager, anybody else on my team looking at this knows what's going on. I have this live Salesforce record here where I can see everything going on. So for example, I might notice that this account phone number isn't really looking quite right. So I can see what the history is. I can see that I've messaged 2 minutes ago saying something's wrong. So I can tell everybody, I'm going to look into this right away. And now everybody can know what's going on. If they have any questions, they can comment and respond back. All right, so looking at that same document within Quip, I can continue right where I left off. I can continue adding in information here, so I can go ahead and add in a report. And that's pulling directly from the reports that I have living already in Salesforce. So here's my list of opportunities, and I can pull that in as live data. This will be a view-only report that will automatically sync with Salesforce. Once I do that, I can actually have a spreadsheet view of this live data that I can compose together into more spreadsheets, into analysis, into sharing, into commenting, and so on. I also don't lose track that this document lives in Salesforce. via the document record linking feature that we saw, I can see by clicking on this cloud icon that this is embedded inside of Acme. I can go ahead and I can add more associated records as well if I want. So I'm going to pause there just because we've showed a lot and we want to take a moment to step out and talk a little bit more about the vision behind these features.
Yeah, so the inserting live reports is really fascinating. So from a technology perspective, what we're really doing is we're pulling in from the Salesforce API all the data related to that report. And what's really interesting about that is that it becomes overlayable once it moves into the Quip surface. So we can do interesting things like perform Excel functions that actually pull in data from a Salesforce report and then sum them or combine them with other information that also is pulled in from a separate report or even just exists only inside of Quip. So there's some really fascinating kind of combinations and sort of use cases that we've come up with, like the deal feed, that kind of take advantage of this. The Salesforce record linking is also really fascinating in that it can point one Quip doc to many different records or many different records to one Quip doc. So being able to move seamlessly between the two was the main motivator behind building this. And it's quite complex when you actually think about the fact that there are so many different connections that could potentially exist. Having that be a seamless transition between Quip and Salesforce is a massive leap forward.
Well, I got to say, you're giving me some good ideas here, how I might be able to integrate Quip better into Salesforce. For sure, the record linking, I'm definitely using that. And the live record, that is fascinating to me, that you can have a conversation at the field level, whereas normally on a record, you would have the record feed, which is generally for the record or even just on that record page. But this is really getting down to the level of the field and actually have a conversation about it. That's really, really interesting. But I did have a question. The account plan, that was really interesting. You had that as a tab right there in the record page?
That's right.
How did you get that to show up there?
Yeah, let's go take a look at that.
All right.
So right here, here we have that account page. Here we have the account plan. So it's all done via just the Lightning App Builder. So we have these draggable Quip components over here. And once you go through the Quip setup within Salesforce, because Quip is an add-on, you can go ahead and you can add that really anywhere. So I can drag on a Quip document. Maybe I want one over here with my account notes. And I can start setting it up. So I can say I want to have maybe the ability for users to upload their own notes field. I can go ahead and do that by storing it in a URL field. I can say that by default, people might have view and edit access. And I can say this is the spot for your account notes. So once I do that, it really is as easy as that. Once I go back, I can go not only to Acme, I could even go to a whole, let's say global media, a different account. And here I'll have my account notes right here. So once my account reps go in, for every single account, they can go ahead and create new documents. They can say global media notes and start collaborating directly within this record. Folks can see it on their phone, on mobile, and really anywhere. And this is incredible because it's actually just this rich editor directly within Salesforce. So I can make lists, I can make quotes, I can do whatever else I want. I can add dates. I can just have this rich free-form place to start adding more context within Salesforce that maybe doesn't fit into one of these highly structured detailed pages.
That's like notes on steroids, right?
Yeah.
Basically, because I know we have notes, and so in Salesforce we have enhanced notes, right, which is a separate object. So, when would you recommend using this for this particular use case for notes as opposed to just the standard notes?
Yeah, so it really comes down to productivity and collaboration. So here, I can expand this into a more full-fledged view, and I can start sharing this really with my entire team. So we have a Radish theme within this demo org, so I can start sharing it with others. I can share it with folks within Quip. I can kind of share it really with anyone. And once I do that, we all can see the same view, and we can all work on it and collaboratively edit it all at the same time. There's also a lot more rich features here, so if I need to start notifying people, I can go ahead and mention, let's say, Arnab just jumped into my document, supporting me from afar within the Quip 13th floor Salesforce tower. He's here and he just liked my notes that I added. I might say, Arnab, can you help me out on my demo? And this isn't pre-planned. This was all improvised. This was in response to a question. And Arnab saw it pop up on his phone. He hopped in there, and now he's right here in the document with me, seeing what I'm doing, liking things, and seeing what I'm working on.
Nice. I also love that live report. I'm definitely going to try that one. I could definitely see when you're like, we do a lot of webinars and we're planning webinars. We have a report of upcoming webinars. We could put that directly in our planning project document and really combine that Salesforce data with the project kind of planning, unstructured notes, as you were mentioning, structured data, unstructured information kind of married together a really elegant way.
Exactly. And just having those really show up directly within my notes. Even if I wanted to bring in another one, I could bring that feature right now. And I could say, hey, in these notes, let's check out those opportunities happening over at Acme. And I can say they're doing something right over there. Maybe we need to use that as inspiration on our account as well. Arnab said yes for sure. We can see that happening over here. He added a note saying this is a strategic account. Keep us posted. So there's lots of live, freeform, unexpected collaboration happening already.
Nice.
All right, cool. So back to our regularly scheduled demo. If we jump back into that document over in Quip, it's not just reports that we can pull in or standalone records that we can pull in. Something that Jesse himself over here built is the Salesforce list view. So this has a lot of the functionality of the other two, but almost combined into one. So here I can go in and say, maybe I want all of my contacts that are related to Acme, and I can select that list and pull it in here. This is the same list view, the same information, all the same data that I have in Salesforce, but now it's live at my fingertips in Quip. So whether I'm working on that notes document, on an account plan, have a one-on-one with my sales leader, all of it's right here. And in fact, maybe I heard that Ashlyn here has done such an incredible job on our winter release that she's been promoted from lead designer at Acme all the way up to co-CEO.
Don't really want that job, but thank you.
It's yours. You don't have a choice. So if I go ahead, sorry, I accidentally undid it. If I go ahead and I make that change, I might also find out that she has a new burner phone because she's really popular right now and she is trying to stay away from the attention.
That would be true.
So here's her burner phone, here's her new title, and I can actually save that back to Salesforce right from here. It's not extra work to go in and open the app, find my contact, Ashlyn, go in and edit it. I can just do that right as I'm working on this account plan and as soon as I hear that great news. So once I do that, I can go back into Salesforce. And if I go ahead and I open Ashlyn here, you can see she's one of the contacts viewing it within Salesforce. There she is. She's a co-CEO. She has her new burner phone. Everybody's completely up to date. But because I called her, maybe to congratulate her, this little conversation we just had, I might need to go log that back to Salesforce too, because I want to be logging every activity that involves a contact, right? So I can do that directly from within Quip. What you saw me do is I clicked this cloud icon that we have in the menu toolbar, and it opened up log a call. I can say that I want to log a call back to Acme. Subject is congratulations on the promo. And I did that for Ashlyn. And here I'm searching over all my contacts that I have in Salesforce. And this is equivalent to logging a call within Salesforce. It's all going back to the same place. But it's getting back to that theme of these are not two different products, right? These are the same product. They're just different ways of manipulating and working with that same data to get your work done. So once I save that back, I can say activity saved in Salesforce. I can actually go back to Salesforce and check that out. So if I refresh the page with Acme, I can see that I just logged a call with Ashlyn. And if I looked at the details, I can say she's co-CEO, she has that new burner phone, and I said congratulations on the promo. This is something where we anticipate it really speeding up how a lot of these day-to-day workflows happen, whether it's notes, whether it's keeping Salesforce up to date, or whether it's account planning. So again, I'm going to hand it back off to Jesse, who's the foremost expert in the world, I think, in the Salesforce list view integration, to talk a little bit more about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think both of these products have really take advantage of the fact that we have a rich collaborative space. We have a place where we can do all this live sort of syncing and this collaboration, but we have this beautiful structured data of the world's #1 CRM, right? And so we have the ability to blend those two is really where we start to see a ton of power come out of these integrations. The list view allows us to do a ton of bulk work all at once. We can update a whole bunch of records in one go. We can do things that previously aren't possible with the Lightning. And there's a lot more that we can do kind of on top of that to continue to build out these features. As we continue to sort of build these deeper integrations, Quip starts to really be able to shine. We can do live commenting on list views. We can change the order, remove, add columns on the Quip side, and all of that persists based on the document you're looking at, as opposed to Lightning where you kind of get locked into this rigid view of this is what this list looks like always, right? We can do a lot of contextual changes. And this really allows the list views to shine. The power of Salesforce really shines here, but sort of the front end and sort of the quick movement that we can do on the Quip side is able to really kind of take this and accelerate it to the next level.
Absolutely.
Okay, so one of the most common questions that we get from admins whenever we're talking about making changes to data is, does it respect validation rules? Or would it trigger any normal automations that are triggered by, let's say, process builder, flow, or even triggers?
Absolutely. So what we've tried really hard to make sure that what we're building here goes through all the standard channels. So I've spent a ton of time in the Salesforce API docs, making sure that I'm following the rules there and making sure that we're doing the right stuff. We do take advantage of as much proactivity as we can, right? So if there's things we can do on the Quip side that helps the user from shooting themselves in the foot or saves them a round trip for the Salesforce API, we absolutely will be proactive, but we won't do anything out of the ordinary here.
Great, and just so we're not scared of updating data in Quip, what if two people are changing the same thing? It could happen, right?
Absolutely.
Somebody could be in Salesforce looking at inline editing a list view. Someone else could be in that Quip doc because we're all collaborating, right? They all both had the same idea to make the same update at the same time. What would happen?
For sure. From a purely technical perspective, it's last update wins, right? And so, and that's the same way that Salesforce works today. If you have two people open with Lightning open, whoever does the last update will win. The thing to remember here is that because we're using first-party APIs and we're playing within the rules here, nothing unexpected is going to happen. We respect the permissions and the rules that already exist on the Salesforce side. We just sort of add some cool sugar, some ways to do things a little bit more automated, some little smoothing of the user experience in a way that kind of only the Quip team can.
And I want to zoom in on that specific example too, of two people wanting to edit the same field at the same time. If we switch back to the demo screen for a second, one of the particularly awesome features that Jesse here built is the ability to leave comments on any field here. So it's not just something that you can do in that record live app that we showed earlier, but you actually do it on any cell here. So I might say, hey, ask my selling partner, Juliana Banana, be like, does she have a burner email too? And she can then, we can have a conversation about that here rather than trying to do that over email out of context without being able to see all of our Salesforce data. In this way, we can actually really make sure that those examples of two people fighting over what the right data is, we can just remove that entirely by having them actually talk about it, which is maybe what they should be doing in the first place.
Interesting. Oh. Now I feel better about it. I think I might try it.
Cool.
Right.
And I think logging calls is clearly closing the loop here. And I think that those types of features are really, really interesting. To me, they're super interesting because we get to use stuff like the autocomplete API and other things on the Salesforce side, and this sort of rich pool of content and be able to sort of augment our own surface with it. But I think as we start to close these loops, we on the technical side get a little bit closer to understanding the entire Salesforce world and blending those two things and really making them one experience.
And I think you mentioned once, just make sure we clarify that this Quip is an add-on for Salesforce. So right. If you're interested, you want to talk to your account executive. And is there a sort of a free trial version that you could use outside of Salesforce just to kind of get a feel for things you can do?
Yes, absolutely. You can go to Quip, you can sign up for a free trial. You can also go to the Quip setup within Lightning, where you can start a free 30-day trial to experience all the things that we're showing you.
Great. All righty. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I can't wait to hear how you're using new features to innovate. So let's keep the conversation going in the release readiness community, where all trailblazers can meet to be release ready.